आरबीआई कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
Hello and welcome to Sports 360, your weekly dose of all big sporting events we are tracking across the globe. In this edition of Sports 360, we will take a look at the performance of Indian players in the third and final ODI against Australia. English football club Liverpool currently have 11 first-team players ruled out or rated as doubtful for the upcoming matches. The Group B has arguably produced the most dramatic results in the UEFA Champions League this season. None of the four teams are sure of their fate in the competition despite playing 5 matches each. So, what Real Madrid need to do to qualify for the round of 16? A look at all the big matches played on Champions League match day 5. And apart from this, we also have our regular segments, performance of the week, goal of the week and vintage sporting moments. But first up, the cover story we are tracking this week. The Indian cricket team finally registered a win over Australia to avoid a whitewash and ended their 5-match ODI losing streak. In the process, India fielded a number of new players who grabbed their chances in decent extent, and the team management will now have an idea how they can contribute in other formats. A more complete performance made the difference for the man in blue on a wicket which suited them better. Here are the player ratings for India in the third ODI against Australia.
Shikhar Dhawan, 2 out of 10. In both games prior to this one, Shikhar Dhawan had shown some hints of class and brisk run scoring. All that seemed to desert him this game as he walked back with a dry 16 off 27 balls to his name. His dismissal, a tame catch in the infield after charging down the wicket, showed signs of desperation and not enough application on a different wicket. Shubman Gill, 5 out of 10. The young opener from Punjab, Shubman Gill, looked comfortable in his 39-ball stay with 3 fours and a 6 to his name. However, his innings ended prematurely when he misjudged a sweep, and the review could not quite help him out. Virat Kohli, 7.5 out of 10. The Indian skipper carried on from his good form in the previous game. He batted during a difficult phase and was extremely controlled with his scoring rate. Before he could capitalize on his hard work, he was dismissed off a smart review as he fell once more to recent nemesis Josh Hazlewood for 63. Shreyas Iyer, 3 out of 10. Shreyas Iyer, along with the sedate Kohli, was part of India's slow attempt at revival after the loss of Gill. Just when he was looking good, he went for a hard push-off Zampa, only for the edge to carry to point. It ended an unimpressive series for India's number 4, and the team management is sure to have some concerns about that position once again. KL Rahul, 1 out of 10. After a good show in the previous game, Rahul threw away a good opportunity in the final game of the series. Going for a half-hearted sweep of the spin of Ashton Agar, Rahul was trapped in front and wasted a review in the process. Hardik Pandya, 9 out of 10. Emerging as India's biggest positive from the series, the number 6 accelerated brilliantly at the death to push the total upwards of 300 and give India a fighting chance. Ravindra Jadeja, 8 out of 10. Changing gears rapidly at the death to score a half-century, Ravindra Jadeja ensured the pressure was taken off Pandya. With the ball, he was a victim of Glenn Maxwell's blitzkrieg as he went for 62 off his 10. Kuldeep Yadav, 7 out of 10. Replacing Yuzvendra Chahal and having a point to prove, Kuldeep Yadav did more than alright in this game with the ball, keeping the runs down. He looked potent against Australia's middle order and was rewarded with a wicket of debutant Cameron Green. Shardul Thakur, 9 out of 10. One of India's best bowlers, Thakur claimed the all-important wicket of Steve Smith off a tickle down the leg side while also scalping Moises Henriques. His precise line to trouble debutant Green was a sight for sore eyes after some average bowling in the first 2 games. He got the wicket of Sean Abbott as well to finish with excellent figures of 3 for 51. Jasprit Bumrah, 8.5 out of 10. Despite having unspectacular returns on paper, Bumrah was easily India's most potent bowler. He was unlucky to have 2 catches dropped off his bowling, and he struck when it mattered most to get rid of the dangerous Glenn Maxwell. T. Natarajan, 7.5 out of 10. T. Natarajan didn't debut what even India's best could not, pick up a wicket within the power play. Though Maxwell took a toll of the debutant, he held his own towards the death, not allowing the Aussie tail to get away. His wicket of Agar at the end wrapped up the Aussie challenge, vindicating his captain's faith. Sports Desk, DD India.
With tears and songs and prayers, a multitude of Argentines flooded into heart of Buenos Aires to pay their final respect to Diego Maradona, one of the world's greatest soccer players. In Argentina, Maradona fans get tattoos to celebrate the eternal love for the soccer legend. Fans have been named their children after the player, including twin girls Mara and Donna. The death of Maradona has highlighted almost cult-like adoration that grew up around the player, nicknamed El Dios or God, who mesmerized on the pitch and inspired fans of it.
Under his shirt, pizza shop owner Guillermo Rodriguez is a walking shrine to Diego Maradona, with his entire back covered in tattoos depicting the soccer great whose death last week at the age of 60 inspired enormous grief in Argentina and the world over. Argentina declared several days of national mourning and his body lay in a state at the presidential palace.
It is something beautiful to live with him. So for us, he did not die. He will continue being there for all of us. The love we have is eternal.
The death of Maradona has highlighted the almost cult-like adoration that grew up around the player, nicknamed El Dios, the god who mesmerized on the pitch and inspired fans of it despite long public battles with addiction.
For a woman in childbirth, it is very painful. For me, I felt that pain the day that Maradona died. The grief is enormous. Having that tattoo now, in this moment, is to feel that he is alive. I feel that he is alive.
A few days after Maradona's death, fan Maximiliano Fernando was in a tattoo parlor in Buenos Aires and showing off tattoos of the players on his arm, including images when Maradona is in mid-strife, another one he is holding the World Cup afloat.
Having tattoos of Diego for me is the greatest thing there is, whose bedroom walls are lined with pictures and shirts of the player. I am going to take him to the grave.
Maradona won the World Cup with Argentina in 1986 and sparkled for Italian side Napoli, where he became a legend for his skills and representing Naples in Italy's poorer south. His image still appears drawn large on murals in the city. In Argentina, fans have even named their children after the player, including twin girls Mara and Donna.
When I met their mother, I said, at some point we are going to have 2 daughters. One is going to be called Mara and the other is going to be called Donna. After 10 years of relationship, we become parents.
One of the most gifted soccer players in history, Maradona's pinnacle of glory came when he captained Argentina to win the World Cup in 1986 before plunging to misery when he was kicked out of the 1994 World Cup for doping. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now shifting focus to English football, it seems as though Liverpool cannot complete a match without a key player picking up an injury at the moment. Alisson is the latest first-team player to join Liverpool's lengthy injury list after suffering a hamstring issue against Brighton. According to Premier League injuries, Liverpool currently have 11 first-team players ruled out or rated as doubtful for the upcoming matches. Liverpool's injury crisis has deepened further with the news that goalkeeper Alisson Becker is out with a hamstring problem. The Brazilian was omitted from Red squad for the crucial Champions League group stage encounter with Ajax. The Reds have already had to deal with a number of blows this season. Here is Liverpool's injury list. James Milner, hamstring injury. The midfielder limped off with a hamstring problem during 1-1 draw with Brighton at the Amex Stadium. With Milner's injury, Liverpool will be forced into more difficult decisions in the following games this coming week. Navigator, hamstring injury. The Guinean was forced off with a hamstring problem after 54 minutes of the 3-0 Premier League win over Leicester at Anfield. The attacking midfielder, who featured twice for his country during international break, had impressed on his first Liverpool start in more than 6 weeks after previous fitness worries. But while Jurgen Klopp said Keita was making progress ahead of the Ajax match, he didn't train in the opening training session. Xherdan Shaqiri, muscle problem. The forward added his name to Liverpool absentees after scans reveal he picked up muscle problem with Switzerland. The Liverpool boss admitted Shaqiri making progress, but his return will take time. Joe Gomez, knee injury. Liverpool defender Joe Gomez has had surgery on a tendon in his left knee. Gomez underwent a successful operation to repair the tendon after suffering the injury during training with England. No time scale has been set on Gomez's recovery, with Liverpool not ruling out the possibility of the centre-back playing again this campaign. Trent Alexander-Arnold, hamstring injury. Trent Alexander-Arnold was taken off during 1-1 draw against Manchester City in the second half with hamstring injury. The Reds right back is expected to miss around a month of football after picking up a calf injury. Virgil van Dyke, ligament injury. Liverpool will be without Virgil van Dyke for the majority of the season, at the very least, after he sustained a serious ACL injury against Everton. He underwent successful surgery in London last month, but Liverpool are reluctant to put a time frame on his return. Thiago Alecantra, knee injury. Thiago Alecantra missed out on the visit of Leicester City and Atlanta, while he was not included in the squad to face Brighton. The midfielder was also pictured at the new training ground last week, but will remain sidelined for until January. Sports Desk, DD India. So a big injury crisis for Liverpool, and in Champions League the Group B has produced some most dramatic results. This season, none of the 4 teams are sure of their fate in the competition despite playing 5 matches each. Real Madrid, Inter Milan, the 2 pre-season favourites, occupy the bottom spots in the group at present. Spanish giant Real Madrid are at 3rd in Group B, with all 4 sides still able to qualify in the next week's final round of matches. Real must beat leaders Borussia Mönchengladbach to guarantee progress. Here is the Champions League qualification scenario for the Group B.
Shakhtar Donetsk completed a shock Champions League double over Real Madrid, winning 2-0 in Kiev to leave Zinedine Zidane's side at risk of going out in the group stage. The Group B of the UEFA Champions League has produced some dramatic results after 5 rounds that see the top-ranked Borussia Mönchengladbach being only 3 points ahead of the bottom-ranked Inter Milan. Shakhtar Donetsk placed second are level on points with third place Real Madrid, but ahead in the standings on the basis of head-to-head results. With 5 rounds of fixtures gone and only 1 to go, here's what the qualification scenario holds for Group B sides: Real Madrid, Inter Milan, Borussia Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar Donetsk. Real Madrid. Los Blancos play their final match against group leaders Borussia Mönchengladbach next week. A win for the Spanish Giants will see them qualify as one of the top 2 sides. If Shakhtar lose their match against Inter Milan, Real Madrid will qualify as group winners. A draw for Real Madrid can also see them qualify, but for that to happen, Shakhtar would have to lose against Inter in their final match of the group stage. Inter Milan plays bottom in the points table. Inter Milan need a win at all cost. With a win, they will accumulate 8 points, but that might not be enough. A draw between Real Madrid and Gladbach will see Inter miss out despite a win because of their poor head-to-head record with Zinedine Zidane's men. Borussia Mönchengladbach. Leaders at present, a win or a draw would be enough for the Germans to qualify for the round of 16. Even a defeat could see them go through the next round of Inter versus Shakhtar match. Ends in a stalemate. Shakhtar Donetsk. The Ukrainians have their fate in their own hands. If they beat Inter on the final day, they go through to the knockouts with 10 points to their name. A draw would also be enough if Real Madrid failed to beat Gladbach because of the head-to-head equation. Sports Desk, GT India.
So the final match day of the UEFA Champions League will decide who will qualify for the round of 16. Meanwhile, Shakhtar Donetsk completed a famous Champions League double over Real Madrid with goals from Dantino and Manor Solomon giving them a 2-0 win over Zinedine Zidane's side. Inter claimed an unlikely win away to Mönchengladbach, whereas Man City and Liverpool cruised to round of 16. Here, a look at the all big matches played on match day 5.
Manchester United 1, PSG 3. Manchester United blew the chance to seal progress to the Champions League knockout phase when they lost 3-1 to last season's finalist Paris Saint-Germain. Neymar put PSG into an early lead after Kylian Mbappe's deflected shot to him to finish from a tight angle. Marcus Rashford then scored to put United level after his shot was deflected into the net by Danilo Pereira. PSG captain Marquinhos poked home from a close range to restore the French side's lead at Old Trafford. In the stoppage time, Neymar scored the winning goal for PSG. Ferencváros 0, Barcelona 3. Barcelona are favourites to finish top of Group G as they maintained their 100% start at the Champions League with a comfortable win at Ferencváros. Ferencváros 0, 3 Barcelona. The Catalan Giants will ensure they win the group with a point against Juventus next week. Sevilla 0, Chelsea 4. Olivier Giroud scored 4 goals in a comprehensive Chelsea victory over Sevilla that ensures the Blues take top spot in the Champions League Group E. The Frenchman scored early in each half with 2 delightful finishes after being fed by clever passes from Kai Havertz and Mateo Kovacic. He completed the treble with a flicked near-post header, then converted a penalty after he was bundled over in the box. Juventus 3, Dynamo Kiev 0. Cristiano Ronaldo scored the 750th goal of his remarkable career in Juventus' 3-0 win over Dynamo Kiev. Federico Chiesa, with his first ever Champions League goal, and Alvaro Morata were also on target. Liverpool 1, Ajax 0. Teenager Curtis Jones grabbed a 58-minute winner as an injury-hit Liverpool qualified for the knockout stage of the Champions League with a 1-0 win over Ajax. The victory ensured top spot in Group D for Jurgen Klopp's side with 12 points. Ajax with 7 points are a point adrift of second-placed Atalanta and need victory over the Italians in their final group game to reach the last 16.
While the likes of Bayern Munich, Man City, Barcelona, Liverpool and Juventus have already confirmed their spots in the round of 16 of the Champions League, a handful will not learn their fate until the final match day. Here, we will take a look at the points table of the UEFA Champions League. After match day 5 in Group A, Bayern Munich has already qualified for the Champions League, while Atletico Madrid at the second place, followed by Salzburg at third place and Lokomotiv Moscow at the fourth place. And Bayern have accumulated 13 points from 5 matches, while Atletico is at the second place after 5 matches and they have 6 points. While in Group B, we can see that Mönchengladbach after 5 matches has 8 points, are at the top of the table, followed by Shakhtar Donetsk, Real Madrid at the third place, Inter Milan at the fourth place. And we can see that each and every team from this group can qualify for the round of 16. In Group C, Man City, the English club, after 5 matches have 13 points and are at the top of the table, followed by Portugal club, FC Porto, Olympiacos and Marseille. And City has already qualified for the round of 16. In Group D, Liverpool, the English club, have already qualified for the round of 16 with 12 points after 5 matches, followed by Atlanta, Ajax Amsterdam and Michelin. So Atlanta is at the second place with 8 points, while in Group E, English club Chelsea, after 5 matches, they have 13 points. And Spanish club Sevilla, after 5 matches, they have 10 points and is at the 2nd place. Krasnodar at the 3rd place, while Rennes at the 4th place. And as far as Group F is concerned, German club Dortmund, after 5 matches, have 10 points and is at the top, while Lazio is at the 2nd place and Brugge at the 3rd place, and Russian club St. Petersburg is at the 4th place. Meanwhile, in Group G, Barcelona, the Spanish giant, have already qualified for the round of 16, followed by Juventus. Juventus has also qualified for the next round, while Dynamo Kiev and Ferencváros are at the 3rd and 4th place, and both failed to make to the next round of the Champions League. In Group H, Man United with 9 points, and there is a goal difference between the 2nd place PSG and Man United. Both have the equal point, 9 points. Leipzig also has 9 points, while Başakşehir has 3 points. So a tough battle will be there on the final match day of the group stage of the UEFA Champions League. Now moving to the next segment, goal of the week. Lionel Messi paid tribute to his former manager and spiritual predecessor with a celebration in the Barcelona's 4-0 win over Osasuna. After scoring, Messi took off his shirt and revealed Diego Maradona's number 10 shirt from his time at Newell's Old Boys. Messi also celebrated adopting Maradona's celebratory pose, and this is our goal of the week. Meanwhile, Chelsea forward Oliver Giroud has become the oldest player to score Champions League hat-trick after scoring all 4 of his side's goals in their win over Sevilla. Giroud is now just the 2nd Frenchman to score 2 Champions League hat-trick, with only Real Madrid's Karim Benzema the other player to do so. Watch this in our segment, Performance of the Week. More than any sports person in history, Muhammad Ali transcended his sports to reach out to people as a role model and hero. Here are some vintage Muhammad Ali moments. Now it's time for 20 updates from the sporting world. Ravindra Jadeja has been ruled out of the ongoing T20 series against Australia. In the first match at the Manuka Oval, Canberra Southpaw suffered a concussion, after which Yuvain Chahal replaced him in the playing 11. Virat Kohli became the fastest cricketer to score 12,000 ODI runs, breaking the record held by legendary compatriot Sachin Tendulkar. He became the quickest to achieve the feat in only 242 innings compared to Tendulkar's 300. England swept the T20 series against South Africa 3-0 with a blistering 99 not out from David Malan, seeing Torres register a 9-wicket win in the final game. England's David Malan achieved the highest ever rating points in T20 history. The left-handed batsman has now reached 915 points to become the first ever player to cross 900-point mark after Australian skipper Aaron Finch. Indian wrestlers will take part in Individual Wrestling World Cup from December 12. The contingent of 42 members will be travelling to Belgrade, Serbia to represent. IOC's President Thomas Bach is set to remain in office until 2025, as he will run unopposed next year for a second term. The postponement of the Tokyo Games until next year because of the pandemic will cost Japanese organizers additional $2.8 billion. WTA is planning to start 2021 season in first week of January outside Australia. Thereafter, the players will travel to Melbourne for the quarantine ahead of the year's first Grand Slam. Italy will host the UEFA Nations League final in October next year. The tournament will feature the host nation as Belgium, France and Spain. Arsenal won comfortably in the Europa League match against Rapid Vienna at Emirates Stadium. Alexander Lacazette, Pablo Mari, Nikita and substitute Emily Smith put their name on the score sheet as Arsenal won the match 4-1. Match between Arsenal and Rapid Vienna was special as after 270 days English football witnessed fans inside stadium. The 2,000 odd fans were dispersed well to maintain physical distancing at the 60,000 capacity Emirates Stadium. Gareth Bale and substitute Dele Alli both scored penalties for the Spurs as the London side qualified from Group J of the Europa League despite being held to a 3-3 draw at last. Tottenham must beat visitor Antwerp next week to claim top spot. Celtic lost 2-goal lead at the San Siro as AC Milan fought back from inflict the Scottish champions' fourth Europa League defeat in 5 games. English club Leicester's hope of sealing the top spot in Europa League group game with a game to spare were dashed as Ukrainian side Zorya Luhansk grabbed a late winner. Stephanie Frappart became the first female referee to take charge of the UEFA Champions League match when she officiated Juventus and Dynamo Kiev tie. Italian club Napoli have renamed the stadium after late club legend Diego Maradona. Former Argentine attacking midfielder and manager Maradona, who died aged 60 in November, led the Italian side 2 Serie A titles in 1987 and 1990. Nice have sacked ex-France and Arsenal midfielder Patrick Vieira as their manager after 2.5 years. The French club have lost 5 games in a row. Professional women footballers are to be guaranteed a maternity leave under new rules approved by FIFA. Lionel Messi and Barcelona have been fined a combined €780 after a player was shown a yellow card for lifting his shirt to pay tribute to late Diego Maradona. And All-NBA forward Anthony Davis has formally agreed to a 5-year, $190 million contract to stay with Los Angeles Lakers. And that's all in this edition of Sports 360. Before we wrap up, we leave you with the sporting moments of the week. Namaskar.